أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. So we started chapter 2 last session, right? So chapter 2 was about learning and education. We said that that's the only thing, or one of the only things in Islam where there's no restrictions, no conditions. Every single person, every single Muslim needs to go after knowledge every single moment that they can. Now, the next section is about some of the virtues. What are some of the benefits? How did the Ahlul Bayt describe the benefits of learning and education? So, last week, or I think maybe a few weeks ago, we talked about this, we mentioned this hadith, where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Talabul ilm farida ala kulli Muslim." That seeking knowledge is an obligation, it's necessary, every single Muslim has to do it. So that was just one line from a very, very long hadith. So I want to share the rest with you today, inshallah. We'll see how much we can get to before adhan time starts. So, the next thing he says is, فَطْلُبُوا الْعِلْمِ مِنْ مَظَانِ. So when you seek knowledge, make sure you get it from the right sources. So, social media, probably not the best place. If it's a quick little 10, 30 second, 60 second clip, it's probably, maybe might not be reliable unless it's from a reliable scholar, right? And that's the next line too. وَاقْتَصِبُوهُ مِنْ أَهْلِ. So just because somebody can take a phone and record themselves and put it online, doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. And we've talked about, if you guys paid attention to the session we did on AI, just because it's grabbing information from everywhere doesn't mean it's giving us the right ideas too. I've been testing nearly every single AI that's there, even the ones designed by Muslims. There are some Muslims have designed to learn about rules from Ayatul Sistani and things like that. I was just testing one out the other day, and there were some serious issues. It didn't give the right answer. And what was funny is that it gives a disclaimer too. Even though you can ask it questions about, is this halal, is this haram, is this allowed, whatever, it says, the answers might be inaccurate, please check with the scholar. So what's the point of asking the AI if you're going to have to check with the scholar anyway, right? You're just adding an extra step. So anyway, next line. The next few lines are Rasulullah talking about the benefits and virtues of knowledge. What's interesting is that it's describing it to people back then, and even people like us, maybe right now, who have a very limited understanding of what religion and deen happens to be. So let's start. So first he says, فَإِنَّ تَعَلَّمُهُ لِلَّهِ حَسَنًا. Ta'allum, learning, education for Allah, for Allah's sake, not for because I feel like getting famous, because I want money, I want power, I want control, I want to know more than other people, but no, learning for Allah, that is called a hasana. Hasana is just another word for a good deed. A lot of people think good deeds, right? They might be thinking about charity, they might be thinking about reading Quran and all those things. But Rasulullah needs to explain to people like you and I and people back then that there's other ways of learning, of getting good deeds too. And one of the best ways is making sure that you learn things. The next line is وَطَلَبُهُ عِبَادَةً. Now when you hear the word ibadah and worship, what do we think about? Praying, fasting, reading Quran, reading du'as, going for ziyarah. That's what we think about ibadah. But here, yes.
My aunt was speaking, and she said that there's lots of other ways to do ibadah when you don't even know it.
Yes, and one of those ways is learning. Learning is an ibadah, right? When you get information, when you learn about the world, this is actually an ibadah as well. Now, what is tasbih? Yes, what is tasbih? Yes. Very good. So the tasbih that you and I normally recite is we usually grab a string or something like that. If we don't, we can count on our fingers. There's different ways to do that. And you say, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, and Subhanallah. That's what we think is tasbih. But for people who, again, might be too narrow-minded about tasbih, Rasulullah describes something else as tasbih as well, about learning. He says, وَالْمُذَاكِرَ بِهِ تَسْبِيحٌ. When you discuss things that you've learned with somebody else, when you study, when you share information with somebody, that's considered tasbih as well. Like, well, it's a lot different than taking beads and going like this and just saying words that I don't really understand. Tasbih, the act of saying subhanallah, is really what? It's recognizing how perfect Allah is and everything that He's made. So what we do when we're talking about things that we've learned with somebody, whether it's about goldfish's memory or whatever we're talking about, is there's something about the way that Allah made the world that you don't know, and I want to share that with you so you and I remember how perfect Allah is and how everything He made is perfect as well. You guys have heard the word jihad before as well too, right?
Yes.
So jihad, back then, for the Arabs, when Rasulullah was there, they thought that jihad just meant going out, fighting in battles, fighting in wars, and that's it. And that was the greatest thing. But Rasulullah explained to them that no, that's a very, very small type of jihad. There's a greater one, which is fighting against your nafs, your ego. That thing that wants to stop us from doing everything that's good. So he says, وَالْعَمَلُ بِهِ jihad. Acting on things that you and I learn. That is actually jihad. That's a very, very tough thing to do. There's a lot of things that you and I know about Islam, about the world. Do we always act on everything? No. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we learn things, we learn it and we don't even act on it. I wasted my time once watching this very interesting, nice video about how to install your own electric car charger in your garage. It was great. I spent time. I studied it. I was like, yeah, I can do it. But you know what the problem is? We don't have an electric car. So what was the point? I just wasted my time. Right? I'm never going to use that knowledge. Oh, and if I do get an electric car in the future, then I'll have to probably watch the video again. So sometimes we just learn all these things. We don't actually act upon it. So you have to be careful. That knowledge that you and I learn, it could be for us. It could be helpful to us if we actually do something with it. But if we don't use it, it can come back and bite us. Now, what about teaching it to others? وَتَعْلِيمَهُ لِمَنْ لَا يَعْلَمُهُ صَدَقَةٌ. What is sadaqah? Charity, right? Means somebody needs something, food, drink, whatever, we share with them. But Rasulullah is telling you and telling us that teaching other people, that's actually sadaqah as well. And there's other narrations that you know that what else is a form of sadaqah? Even smiling. Because some of us, we may not have extra money or extra food to offer. Oh, maybe I've learned something and I've read something in a book that other people don't know, so I want to go and share it. But not every type of sharing is a good thing too. And this will be the last point for today, and then we'll do the rest next week. وَبَذْلَهُ لِأَهْلِهِ قُرْبَةٌ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. If you gift knowledge and things that you've learned to people who deserve to hear it, that is you getting closer to Allah. Is everything that you and I learn meant for everybody else in the world? No. Some people may not be interested. It may not be worth their time. There might be a topic that I love. I want to know, I remember we were talking about it last week, somebody was asking about black holes. That's an interesting topic, right? I love astrophysics and things like that, but not everybody is interested in things like that. So maybe if I go and I talking to them about black holes and white holes and dark matter and all these things, they might be like, well, I don't care about that stuff. So it would be a waste of time for me to gift them that, right? When you gift somebody something, they should be able to use it properly, right? If you gave a baby like a $20 bill, what are they going to do with it? They're going to chew it up, they're going to eat it, and they're going to rip it up. They won't know the worth and value of it. So knowledge that we learn has value to it. A part of knowledge is knowing who can actually treasure and value and understand the worth of this knowledge. So for those of us, we have these teachers, these volunteers coming every single week. They are judging how worthy all of you are for them to share this information with you about Islam, about Quran. So if we show them that we're actually worth it, we're actually worthy, then maybe they'll teach us a bit more things that we deserve. But if we kind of show that, maybe I'm not interested in learning, I don't really care about these things, then we'll be missing out on a lot of important information. So we'll continue next week, inshallah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.